I think the police officers are definitely overburdened with what they have to do on a lot of the things. And yes, there are a lot of scenarios that police officers have to deal with that really don't, they should not, that shouldn't be their job. That yes, a social worker or something along those lines, or other types of people in a, psychotherapist or anything like that would be better suited to be in that position at the time with a, police officer in case something goes bad. And life has changed dramatically since a police force has been created. Things have changed dramatically. Mental, health has changed dramatically, and how you protect those people has not. And that's I believe there is some change there, but not to defund the whole police department or half of the police department, because
I like what they're doing in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Crime's going to go up there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They shouldn't be vilified.
We are under the lights this evening as we get you set for another edition of Baseball on the Show. Tonight, an intriguing matchup between the Atlanta Braves and the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
The problem is the problem isn't
it can't
the
come
problem
from the police
isn't just
department. It has to
that.
come from an independent, like a third party, government stating that, because then it just looks like, and just like Charles is kind of saying there, it's the stigma of the cops. They're protecting themselves.
And he popped him up. Story in foul ground, but this will land untouched.
Right.
The windup and the 0-1.
Right.
Swing and a liner. But
Yeah.
This is yanked down out there at shortstop for the first out. So one away here with the bases empty. That'll bring up the switch hitting shortstop and perennial MVP candidate Francisco Lindor. First pitch coming. Here it is. Here's a little chopper up the middle. Reined in. Throw on to first will take care of him, and Kershaw's in control now. 2 away. Next to bat for Atlanta, Bryce Harper.
No.
Well, a lot of it comes down.
First pitch of the at bat.
Well, a lot of it comes down to
Fastball taken, but that gets
the fact that people want to only look at and focus on the negative. So, for instance, like my sister, her and I, we are fighting right now because she's always posting shit about every cop is bad, every person, every this.
Yeah.
My sister, my cousin, and I sit there and I go, how is every? They posted a thing on something that happened in jail, and I went, that's one of like 20,000 prisons in here, and you're gonna say every person in every sheriff in a prison is out to do this stuff. I said, you guys have got to get rid of this. Every single person is bad just because a few people do some stupid shit.
I got
Once
5
we get
friends
away
that
from
are
that.
cops, man, and they are great guys.
Every friend
all
that I
great
have
guys.
that are cops or ex-cops are some of the greatest people I know.
Yeah.
Even police, even
There's a fastball well off the plate for a ball. Bases are empty, 1 man out. A swing and a drive sent out toward the gap.
Right.
But that'll hit off the wall in left center. And he'll reach second now with 1 away.
Mm-hmm. Because
Now, Mickey Mantle.
that's how our laws are.
As he drives this one
But-
high in the air and deep the other way.
That,
Gallo.
that's how our judicial system is built.
but it's not how it runs.
Making
Yeah.
As on the F7, he gets in there with 2 away. So a man at third here with 2 gone. And here comes the Babe.
Yeah.
Right.
He's set and the pitch.
With the runner on third, 2 outs, base open, and a good hitter at the plate, you have to be smart and not give in. If you walk this guy, so what? It's a lot worse if you give him a ball that he can hurt you on.
Lofton is there, and he puts this one away for the 3rd out. So a great job there of working out a potential trouble. All set for the start of the inning, and standing in the outfielder, Joey Gallo. He's ready. Here's the first offering. Hard hit ball to second. And there is the first hit of the ball game for the Braves.
Well, here's the thing, though. You look at our judicial system, okay? It does not follow the innocent until proven guilty clause. Because let's think about this. You're arrested, you're booked, and then you're held. You're not released, and you're not given a trial before you do sit any time. And some people spend a couple of years, 2, 3, 4, 5 years before their case is even over. Right. And media right away will automatically mark you as guilty. And if it's an election year, everybody's guilty.
Yeah.
There is, and you're not innocent until proven. You're guilty until proven innocent.
Right.
Our judicial system is so backwards right now. So everybody feeds off of that. So everybody looks at it the same way. The media, that's how they report it, because that's how our system is set up. And people don't see that.
Mm-hmm.
First offering on its way. Good slider there, gets a swing and miss. Bieber is a guy who throws a lot of strikes, rarely walks people, but what does bite him occasionally is the home run ball.
Matt, this is a guy that's not a power type of pitcher, so he needs to rely on being down in the strike zone. One of the keys, he tends to lose being aggressive when he falls behind and he kind of nibbles around the strike zone. And what happens with that, Matty V, it becomes very predictable. And when you don't have overpowering stuff, you tend to be able to get hit hard.
Now, I will say this. We still have better than a lot of other places.
Oh, God, yeah.
There are some people who don't get a trial and spend years in jail, even lifetimes. So I wouldn't trade it. Yep, China. I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it out for anything else out there right now. But I would like to see us at least attempt to improve it instead of being settle with where it's at.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't have made that easier for you, could I, Charles? Hey, I'm going to pause for a minute. I got to put a sweater on. I'm freaking cold. Oh, I got a story for you about that one. You ready? I'm gonna unpause. You ready? Okay. So when I was a kid, I became a ward of the court, and don't have any money, so they appoint me an attorney. Every request I had from my attorney was, well, your social worker says this. Your social worker wants that. They don't work for you. Court-appointed attorneys don't work for you. They work for the state. or the county or
Yeah.
whoever it is that's prosecuting against you.
First pitch on its way.
So I mean, and then I asked the judge, go into his chambers, and I asked him for a new lawyer. Declined.
Not surprised he's laid on a heater right there. Just saw an off-speed pitch. Wanted to stay back a little bit too long.
So
Way outside. 1-2. Third inning, no
you're 12 years old. You don't know enough to defend yourself.
Yeah.
But it all came down to dollars and cents for the county and politics. We don't have neutral judges, not anymore.
No.
If they want to keep their judgeship, they're going to have to follow along whoever's in charge politically, because that's how you get appointed. It is. Our forefathers right now would just they'd have lit shit on fire themselves.
Hell yeah.
Seeing the way our country's gone. Of course, they probably would have lit shit on fire when slave was abolished too. So
Yeah, that's true.
First offering on its way.
Yeah.
Well out in front of the breaking ball there for a strike.
most of them were slave owners.
Yeah. Hey, you gotta remember George Washington was a slave owner too.
He's quickly behind 0-2.
That front door slider is a devastating pitch. By the time you realize it's in the zone, it's too late. You can't even put it
Yeah,
in the
but
swing on.
their freedom wasn't geared towards all people. Their sense of freedom was only geared towards the rich white.
Yeah.
And honestly, as much as I hate using race as part of that equation, that's what it was. Because you couldn't vote unless you owned land, which means you had to have money. You couldn't vote if you were a woman, didn't matter what race you were.
Right.
Slaves couldn't vote, but they were counted as part of the population.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said part of the population.
Right.
The 3/5 clause. So, you know, I mean, they weren't perfect, no, but, and I understand that they're men of their time, but I think today they would have found it all disgusting, a lot of the stuff, and not because of who they were, just because of what they wanted to come out of all this.
For a base hit, his second of the ball game. Stepping in now, Mickey Mantle.
Well, we're also a very young country.
Here in this one.
Everyone's
Yeah.
gone through the strides that we're going through now
The 0-1.
hundreds of years ago.
Sharp ground ball.
So,
Oh, a diving effort as it's off his glove. And a good effort here, but he's
too
well
fast
safe.
for you, Charles.
And there are 2 on and 2 out now. So 2 on with 2 away, and here comes the Babe. Fastball just off the inside corner. Counts even at 1-1 to Rude. Down the first baseline.
But-
This'll get fouled.
but-
It's a ball and 2 strikes.
But I understand what you're saying, but it's still the same party. They just switched affiliation.
And the 1-2.
Yes, they did.
Seared down the first baseline. And a reach, but it's by him as he couldn't quite get to that ball. And they're going to take a 1-0 lead as the run comes across to score. And to score
What happened?
the runner from first, it's a 2-0 ball game.
It wouldn't throw?
Trevor Story steps in now, and he's a bit tardy there on the first pitch fastball. It's 0-1. Story just rakes left-handed pitching. There's no real way to dispute that. However, he's not nearly as proficient when facing pitching from the right side. Again, he sends it out of play.
No, I understand what you're saying, but here's the thing you got to understand also. When slavery was abolished, okay, Republicans were worried about jobs because now there was more competition for jobs. So they were also creating laws to make things more difficult for these freed slaves to get the jobs that Northerners would normally have. Okay? In the South, the Democrats started to realize they needed black voters because blacks were starting to vote in the 50s and 60s. So what I'm saying is that's what I'm talking about, the switch that took place.
The last thing they want to do is to try to come from behind and win this one in the 8th or 9th inning.
And that'll bring in the switch hitting Francisco Lindor.
Well, that's every group. Whoa, where are you going?
That's his first base hit, making 1 for 2 now. Lofton isn't stopping. Here he comes to the plate. Tag there from Posada, and he's out at the plate.
That's not party, man. That's Americanism.
Here's Bryce Harper now. And on the first pitch, he grounds foul. Lindor takes his lead at third with 1 away. All over that one, but a little out in front. Foul ball.
That's America.
Here's Kershaw with another 0-2.
Everyone in the ballpark knows what the pitcher's intentions are in this situation. Great job at the plate to lay off a tough pitch in a good spot.
Good swing on a tough pitch, and he'll stick around to see another one. The 1-2. Early swing there as he pulls it foul to the right side. The next 1-2 pitch. Started to chase there. They'll appeal it down to third, and no swing. It's ball 2. 8th pitch of the at-bat.
But that's not a party thing, though, man.
Just out in front of that one, still 2-2.
No, it's not. It's an American thing. Our country has this thing of paternity, man. We're the good guys who are going to fix everything. And you see that in Hollywood. You see that in our politics. You see that in everything. It's that paternalism attitude that we've always had.
Next will be the cleanup hitter, Joey Gallo. He singled his last time up. Breaks his bat as this one's popped up. And he'll avoid the fragments out there to make the catch that ends the inning.
They're both like that. Republicans only want to help big business, man. They don't want to help people. Democrats only want to help themselves. They don't want to help people. That's politics, man.
Infield in the overshift here now, the pitch.
Only when it benefits them. Only when it benefits them, just like anything else. Yeah, it's a party thing, man. It's politics. That's all it is. It's all politics. Smoke and mirrors.
And right into the shift. A dive, and oh, he can't hang on. And Zimmerman will throw across the diamond.
I don't, because I'll tell you right now, whenever a politician speaks, I know there's a bunch of bullshit in there, and I can only find a small thread of truth.
Good pitch there, had him a little out in front.
If this offense is going to be this aggressive, I'm going to expect this pitcher and catcher combo to expand the zone.
Now the 1-1 pitch is laid off for ball 2. 1 out, nobody on.
Yeah. Exactly. It doesn't benefit them to talk about it.
Line toward the gap in left center. Lofton calls off the left fielder as he takes charge for the second out. So bases are empty here with 2 gone. And here's the switch hitting Jorge Posada. Infield shifted well to the right. Here's the first pitch.
Man, that's a great take right there. Backdoor slider, just missed the outside corner. This guy must have a really good eye. Most guys swing at that pitch.
Now a good pitch on the inside part of the plate ties him up, and it's 1-1.
Well, that's because he's not a politician.
He's not a politician. That's
when
why.
when you do look at it, though,
he doesn't speak a politician
the Republicans
language.
have not Republicans, Democrats have not had any idea that has worked for education. They have not had any
Nope.
idea that's worked for health care.
Their idea,
Neither side.
Yeah,
Neither side has. The only thing they want is to fatten their pockets by the whatchamacallits that are in Washington D.C. that keep saying, "Hey, I'm going to give you this money if you keep doing something for my company." Yeah.
Yep. And that's what it comes down to. You look at education. Who runs education? Big business. Who runs the healthcare system? Big business. Everything's geared to money and being reelected.
Yeah.
That's it. It's not about what's best for the people or the country. It already is.
Yeah.
So striding in, Nick Madrigal. He's 0 for 1 thus far. First pitch on its way.
No, it's
you. It's a high fly ball headed for the left field corner. If it stays fair, it's
Oh, that was so close.
Kyle, I'll give you here. I'll give you the no. It's not that. It's not prioritizing health insurance. It's.
Struck him out.
But no, the thing is this:
but
is
then
that
it becomes
you have
unaffordable
no
for people.
idea. You have no idea what every hospital charges for everything. You have no idea until you get the bill.
No runs, 3 hits, and no errors so far for Atlanta. Fouled off.
Well, yeah, because they keep getting.
Into the windup. Here comes the 0-2 pitch.
Competition brings price down.
Yep. And there's no competition. And there's no competition for it right
If
now.
one place says their MRIs only cost $200 and everyone else is at $400, $500, $600, guess what? Everyone comes down to $200.
Yep.
Set now for the bottom of the 5th.
And that is one of the things Trump wants to do. That's because, again, he's not a politician. He was a business guy coming into this. And that's one of the things he has stated, that he would like that transparency to be out there. It should be like an oil change. You should see a list on the wall how much everything costs. And guess what? Then when you're there and you say, "Oh, this place is way too much. I'm going somewhere else because I know they charge this much." Guess what? That hospital, they have shareholders and whatnot that are at the top there saying, "Well, you know what? You're losing all this business because now you're charging too much. You need to get the business. Let's bring it down to get the people back here." And then it becomes quality of service with the price. But insurance was still. Insurance is not the reason why the prices are raising. If you can still have insurance out there, and if all those prices are transparent to everyone to see, like if you're able to go to your 3 hospitals closest to you on their website. And if you got to get a blood transfusion, and you can see the price of the 3 blood transfusions, you're going to go to the cheapest one. And your insurance is still going to pay for it because you still have a deductible to pay.
Yep. Oh, that was close.
Standing in, Jose Ramirez. He'll look to bounce back after striking out his last time up.
And what'll happen is a 3-hour visit to the emergency room will cost him $8,000.
If he tries to cheat to something this AB.
You're right, too.
Now to the plate, the pitcher, Shane Bieber, flied out in his first at-bat, so making 0 for 1 so far. Here's the pitch. Below the zone, a swing and a miss.
He's getting a lot of first pitch outs, and it's really easy to see why. He's been perfect. 100% of his first pitches have been for strikes to hitters so far in this one.
And an off-balance throw is in time as he takes one away. Wow. Now back to the top of the lineup. Stepping in, Kenny Lofton. Here comes the first pitch. And that misses ball 1.
Hey, a 2-out walk right here would be the tying run to the plate. Even though it's early on, You got a guy on deck that has a lot of pop.
This is pulled into right. And that is in there for a 2-out base knock. 2-out success, and that means Francisco Lindor will hit here as well. And that'll bring in the switch hitting Francisco Lindor. And a first pitch swing. He hits a fly ball to left center. And he'll get there in plenty of time to put this one away, and that ends the inning.
My outfielder stopped running.
Bottom of the 6th inning now. And next will be a speed threat in the form of outfielder Mickey Mantle.
But again, you put the prices out there, you're going to eventually have to come down if you're way too high. If you're charging $3,000 for something and everyone else is charging $500, you're not going to get any business. And then guess what happens? All the business is going to go to the $500, and what does that happen? Insurances don't have to pay out much, and then your insurance premiums go down.
So now the Angels cleanup batter, Babe Ruth. He's 1 for 2 in the ball game. First pitch of the at-bat on its way. Swing and
Well, yeah.
miss. That one tied him
Well,
up.
that's because the laws allow them to do that.
Yeah.
Remember the last time we saw a guy pitch
Exactly.
this efficiently.
Hey, this guy has really been attacking the zone, and this lineup has been.
You gotta
more than
change the
happy to
laws,
swing
man.
at a lot of
Right.
pitchers' pitches so far.
Into center field, line drive base hit.
You got to change the laws.
And that brings in the power hitting shortstop Trevor Story as he swings and lifts it in the air out to left field. Gallo is right there as he'll put it away without much problem for the 2nd out.
Oh, the EpiPen.
Out now in the Angels 6th. And up to bat next, the left-handed light tower power of Joey Gallo. Ready to deliver. Here's the first pitch.
Lots of hits given up, but so far no walks.
Mhm.
At least he's making them work to get on base.
Well, you know, things like this are going to be allowed to happen as long as they can keep donating the money they're allowed to donate to these politicians.
Yeah.
No offer
Because
on
the
that.
politicians will never make laws that'll prevent any of that from happening while they're being funded.
And no errors to
And as long as lobbyists get to stay there and keep fattening their pockets, and the special interest groups get to keep fattening their pockets, the government, your politicians are never
Oh,
going to
nice
do anything with
pitch.
us.
And that retires the side.
Yeah, it's those mega PACs or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
The ones that the
Super
Supreme
PACs.
Court, the super PACs, the ones the Supreme Court screwed up and allowed to happen.
Standing in is the
That's the
veteran
only time I actually agreed with Obama on anything. They got it wrong.
first offering.
Yeah.
And it's
It all comes down to dollars and cents, man. And you got to remember one thing too. You look at a presidency, okay, and everybody, I don't care how good or bad of a president he was. First 4 years was geared towards re-election. They fed you a bunch of smoke and mirrors so that way they could be elected. Short-term solutions to problems so they could say, yes, look what I did. Then after they're re-elected, that's when they really go to work because they're trying to build
Yeah.
their legacy. So,
Because they know they don't have to worry about the getting reelected.
right.
So they can do shit, and what does it matter? They're gone in 3 years, 2 years.
Yep.
They,
And
they
if you-
can't, they're
if-
not going to be in the office anymore.
And if you want to see laws change, you got to do the same thing in the Senate and Representatives.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, the
now,
lifers are ridiculous.
now, when they get to a point where they're not facing re-election, they actually have to do some work. They actually have to do something for this country so they can create their own legacy.
ready for another shot now. Ryan Zimmerman
Yeah, they
started
should
out
both have
the
10-year
two seasons.
limits.
Yep.
First delivery to him on the way.
Well, even founding fathers said
Swing and miss.
they did not to be lifetime appointments. They're there for you. They want it to be a revolving door for people to all participate, and then you can use that to gain business-wise once you're done.
And the Angels
Right.
come back
Good game, Charles.
this series at a game apiece as this ball game is over.
It's always nice to give your fans at home something to cheer about, and they definitely did that right here, coming through with a big win at home.
This evening's
Oh,
game
God,
finishes 2-0 the final score. The Halos led this game from the third inning on and never wavered. Clayton Kershaw.
Plus, they also don't have our population.
Shane Bieber pitched well, allowing only 2.